I've noticed that when I watch Fox News, they don't often interview Republican governors and mayors. I'm wondering if that's because these people have a lot of responsibility attached to their jobs and therefore don't have lots of spare time to go on TV and bash their political opponents. Republican cities and states are run better than Democrat-run jurisdictions, and that means the people in charge work a lot, or so it would seem. Not so with do-nothing Democrats who are merely placeholders for the next interchangeable foot soldier on the long march to communism. They seem to have plenty of time to appear on far-left mainstream media programming. Here's a couple of examples from so-called leaders in the problematic state of Illinois.
Today, Donald Trump spoke about the Supreme Court in a way I've really never heard a president speak about the Supreme Court, even when they disagree. What did you make of his kind of meltdown and really attacks on the court?
Well, that's who Donald Trump is. You know, he doesn't care about decorum. He doesn't actually care about the fact that these are public servants who, even when I disagree with them, you don't treat them with disrespect the way that he just did.
Oh, is that so? Oh, okay. Let's look to an example of how a Democrat treats members of the Supreme Court when he disagrees with them.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Bruh. By the way, he's attacking people he appointed to the Supreme Court. And he does that to members of Congress, members of his own party. Anybody who disagrees with him is all of a sudden on the enemies list for him.
You mean like the way Democrats treat John Fetterman? Maybe Trump just has some very definite ideas about how to run the country and just gets pissed when people do things he sees as adversarial to our nation's interests. Could it be that?
I think it's a mistake for this president to continue to find wedge to divide people in this country. When I think about the history of Chicago, established by a black Haitian immigrant and a Potawatomi woman, and they established what is now the global capital of the world. That's the story of America.
Let's Go Brandon Johnson just said Trump is driving a wedge into America, and then in the next breath declared that the story of America is a black Haitian immigrant and a Potawatomi woman establishing Chicago, which is the global capital of the world, apparently. Well, clearly I'm not part of that story. Does anybody know what the hell he's talking about?
If this president was serious about ensuring that we had a pathway to citizenship and to ensure that our borders are secure, he would use the fact that he controls every single level of government to put forth legislation that could do just that.
He already secured the border, and there's always been a pathway to citizenship for aliens, so that's an idiotic statement. As for controlling every level of the government, I guess that means you'll be stepping down from your position as mayor, since you just indicated Trump runs Chicago.
This president has demonstrated over and over again that he's more interested in dividing people by race, by whether they are documented or undocumented.
I didn't realize that documented and undocumented were actually races. This is fascinating. Go on.
As the mayor of the city of Chicago, what people talk to me about every single day is how we build safe and affordable communities. That's what my focus has been. That's what we're doing in Chicago. And it's quite disappointing that this president has not caught on with the hopes and aspirations of working people.
Actually, Brandon, your constituents have told you time and again that it is you who haven't caught on to what working Chicagoans want.
Listen, man, you got a 14% approval rating, so the people is looking like they're telling you that you're fired, man.
And we can only hope that young man was correct. Problem is, Democrats are all interchangeable. Chicagoans were all excited to get rid of Lori Lightfoot until Let's Go Brandon Johnson took over. But regarding the state of Illinois versus, say, the state of California, you tell me, which has the worst governor? Is it Pritzker or Newsom? They both come across as profoundly dishonest and not particularly intelligent. But Greasy Gavin was very specific and forthcoming about his intellectual shortcomings. Remember this?
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Oh my God! Maybe the wrong business to be in.
A lot of people understandably believe Gavin Newsom is dumb, but I doubt anybody believes he can't read. And personally, I don't believe he's dumb, but I do believe he thinks we're dumb. Supposedly, Greasy Gavin suffers from dyslexia, so he may be alluding to that, but what he said is he can't read a speech. And that, according to him, means he's like Mayor Dickens and what I guess was a predominantly black audience that he was there in Atlanta to pander to. And what's amazing to me is how the audience eats this shit up. If Gavin was smarter than me, Gavin would be better than me. But Gavin isn't smart, so he's like me. Gavin Newsom, who was born in 1967, graduated from Santa Clara University in 1989 with a BS in political science. In other words, he went to college straight out of high school and graduated from college 4 years later. But he can't read? This poster child of liberal privilege who founded a boutique winery with a billionaire member of the Getty family and ate at the French Laundry where meal prices start at $350 a plate during a time in which he ordered Californians to stay home or else is just like an average black American. And by average black American, Newsom means illiterate and stupid, apparently. But no, he couldn't have meant it that way. I mean, he's a Democrat. I'm sure we can trust him. It's not like he ever nailed his best friend's wife or anything like that.
I am deeply sorry about that.
Yeah, you're sorry you got caught. But California and Illinois aren't the only Democrat-run states to get bad press lately. Minnesota's been vying for the top spot in the corruption Olympics for a long time. And why not? When you have mainstream media stooges like Abby Phillip to shill for you.
The welfare fraud scandal has MAGA's attention. YouTube personality Nick Shirley claims that he uncovered more alleged fraud in the Somali community in Minneapolis, and his 42-minute video is going viral online. But, honestly, you knock on the door of a daycare center and you're like, let me in, let me in. What do you expect people to do?
Well, personally, I'd expect somebody to let me in. I wouldn't expect free run of the place, but I would expect to be allowed into the facility. When my kids were little, I toured more than a few facilities where children were dropped off for the day. What parent wouldn't do that?
In some of those cases, there were children in there. What do you want people to do? Open the door and say, come on in, when they know that the Somali community is under attack?
The Somali community isn't under attack. No Somalians have been attacked, to my knowledge. Somalians are being exposed and prosecuted for their widespread criminal enterprises throughout America.
I think that's unforgivable.
But when you're a liberal lunatic like Abby Phillip, you consider that an attack. If the bitch who slammed the door in Nick Shirley's face after claiming he was harassing them because he had the audacity to ask where all the children were had nothing to hide, she should have opened the door and let him in. But she didn't. And that says it all. Minnesotans love them some fraud, don't they? Pop quiz. What was the only state that Ronald Reagan didn't win in the 1984 presidential election? You guessed it. But hey, things could be worse. Kamala could have won in 2024. Talk about a low IQ person. She's a pile of platitudes in a pantsuit, a bag of bumper stickers and high heels. Check out this agonizing interview clip in which she struggles in vain to come up with a single thing she planned on doing if elected.
The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I think that people are ready for a new way forward.
Yeah, that's why we voted for Trump.
What a difference a president makes.
In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism.
That doesn't make sense.
I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have been in an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans.
So what would you do day one?
There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
Kamala sounds like the kid who has to give an oral book report in front of the class when she hasn't read the book. Kind of like what she's been doing on her book tour.
Well, she can't speak.
Okay, the point is...
She can't talk.
That is true.
She can't do an interview.
I get it.
I thought it was a very strange campaign that we had.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
I wouldn't call her a skilled politician.
And that scene from The Matrix says it all. But Kamala Harris was just one of many bullets America will need to dodge, unfortunately. And in America that just elected a communist to run its largest city, it would be pretty unwise to assume that we've somehow regained our collective sanity. Ass clowns like Gavin Newsom and bimbos like A-Hole C are circling overhead like vultures, just waiting for the opportunity to hasten us from prosperity to ruin. Don't think it can happen? Recall the seemingly unelectable ticket of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in 2020. Stolen election or not, they took power. Lesson lesson learned for those who sat on the sidelines and didn't vote? The road to ruin is paved with apathy.
I think that people are ready for a new way forward.